You know they got that same name, but different point of views. Whichever one you choose, you can't lose. They got that same name, different point of views. Whichever one you choose, you can't lose. Keisha and Keisha,
knowledge, wisdom, and discernment. Keisha, you don't got it, you can get some if you hurt them.
Keisha and Keisha, man.
Knowledge, wisdom, and discernment.
Keisha
you don't
and
got
Keisha,
it, you
man.
can get some if you hurt them. We gon' laugh, have a good time. Just sit back and elevate your mind.
Welcome to episode 30.
Episode 30. 3. Okay.
That's my age.
What? Cut it out. You need to stop doing that.
I'm not.
Stop
Just
being a
so
liar,
you know,
Keisha.
I can't stop lying. All right, people. Y'all ready for some recap?
Mm-hmm.
Do African Americans suffer from racial PTSD in America?
In America. So we just talked about this on Facebook, and so we want to hear your views. So if you are listening to our podcast, as you couldn't catch us on Facebook, then we want you to drop us a little note on Facebook or Instagram, because we really want to hear what you have to say. And the way we talked about it was that, yeah, we do suffer from that. So we're going to hold over our comments until next week, but that's going to be our question that we want you to answer.
Yeah,
Give us some feedback.
And for my people without Facebook and all that stuff, go on text me. I go on let you text me. All right, next topic. This you, Keisha. You Saturday, October 27th, which was my sister-in-law's, their twins' birthday. Hey, I'm sorry I missed it, ladies. Marked the date of Turning Point USA's Young Black Leadership Summit.
What?
West is said to have helped design T-shirts for the summit emblazoned with the term Blexit.
Blexit. BLEXIT.
In reference to a movement seeking to free black people from I was not going to bother, but an emotional abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. I didn't want to say
an emotionally abusive relationship. That is pretty intense.
Well, and then and
Black
while
exit,
we're still
right? Isn't that Blexit, Black exit?
Black exit, and as one of the other Keisha in Atlanta said, they had to steal that from England with Brexit, But I guess the thing is, and I want to tie Kanye West. Go ahead and tie him on into this. He said he didn't design these shirts. He went out on that. He didn't design these shirts.
Said that Candace came out and apologized, right?
Yeah, saying that he designed them. But let's talk about black people exiting the Democratic Party.
I thought it was the Republican Party.
No, it's the Democrat.
She wants them to be Republicans.
Okay. So let me tell you what the problem is. The Democratic Party ain't made y'all be Democrats. This is a free society, right? You can be a part of any party you want to be a part of. And she's talking like the Democrats got a hold on black people. No, black people want to be Democrats because that's what they want to do. The majority of black people. They feel like the Democratic Party is helping them. Even though she thinks that the Republican Party is.
I feel like this. I think that they're extremists on both ends. I think there are people who can be extremists and Democrats. I think there are people who can be extremists or Republicans. I think you need to find a healthy balance in whatever you choose to do. Because there's sometimes when different things that you're voting on, you may have a better choice with the other party. And I think it needs to be something where you're just not drawing this party line and saying, this is what I'm going to do. We see how that's turned out for a lot of the Republicans who initially voted for Trump and realized that a lot of the stuff that they went along with are things that morally support their lifestyle. So I feel like everybody's smart enough, if you're out here voting, to choose what you want to vote for, the people you want to vote for, and vote your conscience on whatever it is. So
you agree with me that Candace Owens is out of her damn mind?
There's
no need for no Blexit. If everybody can pick their party.
But outside of just picking your party, just like in college, now when people say I'm a GDI, I'm not a part of any kind of fraternity or sorority. I'm a goddamn independent, is what they would say. And as a result of that,
me by me.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, or me by me. That was just the thing. And it was because, listen, I want to be able to choose. I don't want to have to, just because I'm affiliated with any kind of party, that I have to go along those party lines with everything that they say. I mean,
So
I'm
what
your
is
friend,
she
and I don't
saying?
believe, I don't agree
No,
with
but
that
that's
stuff you say.
but I know, what I'm saying for this Blexit, that's the whole concept. Is
Right.
she saying that black people are exiting the Democratic Party?
I think she has a desire for them to do that. So she wants them to exit because she says that the Democratic Party is being emotionally abusive, which is pretty extreme. I mean, I'm not.
No, it's not that. I'm just what I want her to know is that we are free will. We are free will. This is a free will. So the black people that are in there, the Democrats didn't force them.
Okay, go to the next one.
All right, and we let's go ahead and tie Kanye into
Okay, go
this.
ahead.
So Kanye, and I want DJ to come back to this one because last week he said that Kanye was progressive, and now we're finding out that Kanye was what you said he was all along. Sidney Keisha, what you said? He just throwing stuff out there, don't know what he's saying, don't have no responsibility for what he's saying.
And I don't like that.
No, and you said that, and then he came back and said that he was being used, and he's going to distance himself from politics. And I think he found out that people want, when you throw something out there, people want to make you accountable for what you say. And that's what you were saying, that he needs to be accountable for what he's saying. And I think that we need the new generation to understand that what he was doing wasn't progressive. Mm-hmm. It was being, and what I said, shucking and jiving, which is an old term, which means you're out in front of the camera, you're saying stuff that's outrageous.
Irresponsible.
You're being irresponsible with your
So I feel like this, if you have
said,
an audience of people that are following you because they love your music. The Miseducation. No, what was his first? Is it Miseducation? No, that's Lauren. That's your girl.
That's I go to Miseducation. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
College Dropout.
College Dropout.
Yeah.
And just a lot of the stuff that people start following you for because you were on this whole. You were using your platform as a musician to like be culturally responsible and to bring forth issues and, you know, to deal with different stuff, even if it was satirical, like you were doing stuff and you were probably making fun of it, but you were making it where, you know, even the younger generation are still listening to your stuff. So you went from that to being totally irresponsible and just talking at the side of your head and taking your platform and pushing them in a dangerous place because now you're saying stuff and they're like, yeah, and it's like, what?
And now he said he's going to distance himself from politics and completely focus on being creative.
Well, good,
and what were you doing? I mean, and this is why we were so outspoken. Everybody was saying, what are you doing? What did you do in politics? What did he actually get accomplished? Because, you know, DJ said he had a seat at the table. And I was like, but he didn't do nothing.
Well, I mean, the nothing means I don't think, because even afterwards we talked to him, it wasn't nothing meaning that here's a whole agenda stuff he did. It's the fact that he is sitting there at the table. And it's the same thing when the black preachers were doing that. Now, the bottom line is, I don't care who you are. In order to be progressive, you got to deal with your enemy. You got to deal with the people who are against you or opposite of you. You can't sit on one side and y'all just argue at each other. That ain't never gonna solve anything. You got to come to the table together and figure out something. And that don't mean you selling out or you trying to do something other than clearly find a way to communicate.
You know, I'm shaking my head now. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but no. I mean, this guy, he's just irrational. That's why I say you can't have a rational conversation with someone who's irrational.
Well, he's bipolar, so.
Yeah.
All right, so
now I was talking about Trump.
Oh,
we'll know which one of these fools we talking about. Go ahead.
500,000 voters were erased from the voter registration list by Brian Kemp
in Georgia.
And he claims that he got rid of them because they moved. And so they investigated. Palast investigated. And over 300,000 of the 500,000 are still living in the home that they lived in when they registered to vote. So it says Kemp is the worst. He's like the poster child for the fancy new Jim Crow.
Well, and then he's been sued several times. And even with what's going on now, Stacey Abrams was on The View talking about the fact that they had to sue him. The judge said he had to let these people, because, you know, he had the 50,000 that we was talking about last week of the registration that he was holding up their registration saying that their signatures didn't match.
Right, or something.
It was the signatures didn't match. They had an E. So the judge ruled that he had to allow them to at least say whether or not it was their signature.
Right, and
that was
correct
just
it, like give them an opportunity.
yeah. And
But a lot of
He is Jim
cities
Crow.
and a lot of towns are purging this list of voters, and people don't realize until you go vote, because you figure, hey, I've done everything I need to. I
I'm
got my list,
registered.
and you get there and it's not like it should be.
You're
So
not
I don't
on
know
there.
if they're even notifying now. All right, so you real quick, the North Carolina woman.
South Park Susan, in case you haven't heard of
Now remember,
her.
I told you how they were saying that when we start putting all these names to people instead of their real names, dealing with these women who are like truly.
Oh, she
racist,
lost her
you
job.
know. I
Don't
know,
worry.
but I'm just
she
saying.
another one lost her job. But South Park Susan, and I'm so glad Peaches reminded me in our pre-meeting. She said, "Is your boyfriend here?" Is what she's talking to these two sisters who are waiting on AAA to come help with their car outside of the apartment building or whatever apartment complex. Is your baby daddy here? Nobody cares. I'm white and I'm hot. And they said she's all in their face. If you see, what is wrong with people?
Do you see my face? Like, really?
And I'm like, sisters, y'all didn't whoop that ass. What is up
Now
with
stop
that?
trying to fight everybody.
I'm
'cause you
sorry,
can't
but
fight
if you
everybody.
get it, Keisha, first of all,
But
she
you
get-
can't fight everybody.
But, no, let's keep it real.
You can't.
If she got in your face,
I'm not fighting her.
no, girl, please.
I'm not gonna
I
fight
have
her.
to pull you off. I'll be the calm one.
No.
You'll be the
No.
hot-headed, and I'll
I'm
be
not
the
saying
one
that I
going.
wouldn't have some choice
I'll
words
be
for
like,
her.
City Keisha, don't beat her.
No, I'm not fighting. I'm too old for that.
Oh, I
crap.
whoop her ass. I kick her feet from up under her ass. She would be on the ground. I'm sorry.
Listen, this morning,
Woo!
a little side note to this. This morning I was watching a program on CNN where they had a group of women that are friends, about 7 or 8 of them, and they never talk about politics. So in this one instance, they allowed her, the CNN correspondent, to come in and talk about it. And so it ended up being like split. Half were like Democrats, half were Republicans. So I say all that to say, there was a woman, and I mean, I was so appalled by this. She said that she supports, of course, what Trump is doing because she feels like we do need to build this wall and we do need to prevent these immigrants from coming in here illegally. And she's like, I don't care if you come in legally. Coming in legal is okay with me. But if you come in illegal, you're taking health care from people who may have lost their jobs. You're taking jobs from people, you know, and just, I mean, she's totally sold out on this foolishness, even though everybody's like, what are you talking about? But anyway, she goes on to say this. So the CNN reporter says, well, let's be honest about this. They're not coming in illegally. They're seeking asylum. That's totally legal. And she says, well, I hope Donald Trump fixes that. I said, so
what?
people coming in, like getting rid of the whole asylum thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
That's,
then my whole thing is like, okay, so let's just dig back into your archives of your historical background and figure out how you got here. Because, see, I'm pretty sure that same, I want a better life, I'm hungry because it's the potato famine, they are starting these revolts in Italy, like all the other reasons why people said they had to come here to find a better life for them and their families. Your ancestors did the same thing. So what if that had been in play?
But they
and I
weren't
sat there and I was
brown.
like, are you kidding
But
me
they're
right
not
now? Like, that
brown.
was just too much for me.
It makes me think that people don't understand history. And I'm like, have you read a history book? Do you know anything about your history? Because if you did, this is your ancestors. The only thing that's different is the color of their skin.
Well,
That's
and
the
like I said,
only difference I see.
Hispanics come in through immigration. Irish come in through immigration. Italians come in through immigration. Germans come in through immigration.
Africans.
Polish come in through immigration.
Africans.
Some Asians
Asians.
and Africans and Asians. But there were a number of Africans who didn't even have a choice. It wasn't immigration that brought us here.
No, but I'm just saying that even the ones now who are trying to be immigrants here,
Yeah.
that we've
All
got this situation where the only difference is the brown skin. Go ahead.
All right, Chloe and Lucas.
That's on
Luca.
you. Luca Sabat. She said it was a fun. She
You
said it
ain't
was a
flinging
fun
with my
play.
baby. You
That's
ain't
what
flinging with my baby. You ain't flinging with my baby. Like
I
I
wanted
said.
you to jump on that because I said, "Oh, I'm putting this here just for Keisha."
And I'm done with it.
So
I ain't saying nothing else.
Chloe said, not Chloe, it's Courtney. Courtney said that it was
But
it was a fun
sit down, you pedophile.
fling. So I'm like, really? You had a fling with a 20-year-old?
Okay, so DEFCON 4 with Nicki and Cardi B. You said the beef ended today. That's what you
That's
said.
what we heard. We
Okay.
heard the beef ended.
So
that
now they
Nikki
don't want to
said
fight no more, right?
That she want to be positive.
Okay, well, we're going to move on past that because we're going to promote positivity.
Positivity.
All right, so Kylie Jenner wants to be the youngest billionaire.
She don't want to be.
Self-made billionaire. And so she's worth $900 million right now, and there is a GoFundMe campaign to raise $100 million so she can become a billionaire.
This is the stupidest damn generation ever. I'm sorry. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all are ignorant as hell. Just buy her product. You don't need to GoFundMe nothing.
Well, I'm just telling you what is being said.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
ignorant. Go ahead.
So, what you know, no good. We said it in a
What
minute.
you know, no good.
Hey.
Peaches. What you
New
know,
details
no good.
have emerged around the startling
You
death
better stay on your producer
of
over
Lyric McHenry. You bought the story.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing over
Now
here.
listen at her.
Go ahead.
Wake up. Wake
What
up.
was your focus behind Lyric was that
The-
she was
the-
a 26-year-old
Mhm.
that died of an overdose, a drug overdose. And I'm sorry, guys, I got a little cough because I'm getting a little sick. But go ahead.
Her father and I guess for me, for her family, they wanted people to know that she went to college, that she was working as working in the industry and was gonna be on EJ's show and all this stuff. And they I felt sad for her family because I felt like they really was trying to gloss over the party girl thing, and it really was. She was partying and getting high on cocaine and ended up dead.
Overdosing. Mm-hmm.
So and they got upset about what the news media said about her, and I'm like, could you really be upset about that? Because it's exactly what she was doing. And then her ex-boyfriend said that and I'm quoting him, especially when you have money and you go out all the time with people who do. Some people keep that drug around more easily than others. He said after a while it became a casual thing, and they said, and her family was adamant that she was an addict. If it's a casual thing, you're an addict. And I wanted to say that for them, she's an addict.
Yeah.
But she lost her life.
Thank you for that.
Oh no. I'm saying, and I'm sure they don't thank me, but that's
but you know what I'm saying. Like clearly,
But that's what
Stay in
this
denial.
is. Yeah, but and this is the thing about black people. What we were talking about, we have to address the issues differently. She was an addict, and yes, y'all have money, and yes, y'all are rich, but even all of that couldn't stop her from having a drug overdose and dying. And that's something that we need to tell all of our young kids that listen, just because you out there partying 5 days out the week and getting high, and you think you got it under control.
all right. Well, somebody else who was trying to party was this white chick who decided she was gonna go blackface and be Beyonce. She couldn't just be Beyonce, the white girl version. She had to go put on some blackface. Lost her job as a nurse at St. Luke's Hospital.
When is blackface ever okay?
It's never
Ask
okay.
Whoopi.
Ask Megan. What was Megan thinking?
Megan Kelly, I know. Oh God. But do you see they're fighting on her exit pay? Child, you think we would have got an exit pay?
Heck yeah, if I had a contract, don't play.
But
You do get extra pay now.
no, I'm just saying that you think we'll be fighting over.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think they would have let us fight. They'd have said, "He look at here, Negroes."
Oh no. Mm-mm.
This what
All
y'all
right,
gonna
so it
get.
looks like Twitter is thinking about, getting rid of their like button. They said they want more healthier conversations. So they're hoping the like button will incentivize more healthier conversations.
I hate Twitter. I don't even
Whatever,
like
you be-
it.
you be on
No,
Twitter.
I don't. I don't even understand how it works. Do you? I mean, like mine when you popped up the other day said she's first tweet in a long time is what it said.
But I
was
mean,
like,
even if you're trolling, you're still on.
yeah, but I'm just saying that it's like I don't even interact on this thing.
All right, so the Fergie, the
Ooh.
Fergie Mix Challenge, I love this. So apparently, last year she did in February, I think.
The national anthem. Ooh,
Yeah, and
Lord.
she did kind of like a
Last
jazz,
school year. You
a
would
little
say
bit,
last
a little bit
school
of a
year.
scat, and it was just a hot mess. And
It
and
was
they were
horrible.
putting the cameras in the face of like Draymond and
Yeah.
Steph or whatever. And so
When it was happening, yeah,
her
it was
ex-husband
horrible.
apparently
Josh
did
Duhamel.
not. Could you stop?
Josh Duhamel, go ahead.
Tell the story then, because
No.
every time the camera would go on Draymond, he would laugh and he got upset about it, and he was just like, hold up a minute now, you need to be more of a man about it, and if you think it's wrong, then come to her and be like, hey, you good, because everybody know it was horrible. So they lashed back at her, And the men of the Warriors decided to do a little remix. And if you have not seen it on Twitter, you can go to Steph Curry's page or Draymond's page or pretty much anybody on that.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to see it.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have
And
to
even
see
Snoop
it.
Dogg didn't get involved in the girl. He was smoking a blunt doing it. He was. It was so funny. I was like, oh my God.
I'm gonna have to see it. That's a fact.
And I was like, oh my goodness, Becky. No. So then he kind of came back at a clap back, and he was like, okay, yeah, you're right, all right. And they made fun of it, and it was all good. All right. So then another racist white woman, 63 years old, a native from Indiana. Her name was Deborah Cantwell. Was arrested and charged with misdemeanor, intimidation, and criminal mischief after leaving a racist note on her new neighbor's door. And so the note read, "No ninjas wanted in this neighborhood." This is a white neighborhood.
It didn't say ninjas.
Okay. Some people find ninjas stressful due to 33 years of negative experiences, and it causes serious health issues. She went on to say, "Your ninja kid is not welcome. You can sell your house and make money on it right now. By the way, hope you have deep pockets." I mean, like, she had to come over to this woman's property
It's the nerve
and
of
leave
them.
this note, which makes
They
it
have
just
no-
unbelievably ridiculous. Going back to
They
the
have no
PTSD
qualms.
thing, and it's
They
like
have no qualms of
coming out the
being-
woodworks, and then your boy don't want to take any kind of responsibility for the fact that he's doing half of it. But okay. All right, let's talk about some politics. Oh my God, what happened?
The
What was that?
leaders
What's that?
of a progressive Jewish organization in Pittsburgh said President Donald Trump should not visit the city as it mourns the 11 people murdered in a mass shooting at a synagogue until he changes his tone. Basic, and this is in quotes, President Trump, you are not welcome in Pittsburgh until you fully denounce white nationalism. And this comes after he said he was a nationalist.
And you know they raised $1 million. All these different groups and stuff. And
Oh yeah, the
to come
Muslims,
and
the
worship with
Islams,
them. Yeah.
Christians, all these different, a lot of religious people came together to show that America is about unity and not about tearing each other down. The organization also demanded that Trump stop targeting and endangering all minorities. I don't think he even understands how he's putting a target on us when he does this. And it says, cease your assault on immigrants and refugees and commit yourself to compassion, to compassionate, democratic policies that recognize the dignity of all of us. And he doesn't do that. And that's what this, they're just over it. They don't want him coming, and I think he showed up anyways.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that our president can't be welcome at a place where people are grieving and need his support, and they are fearful that he's not going to do the right thing.
Well, the gunman's name is Robert Bowers. He was 46 years old, which is in our age group, reportedly screamed, "All Jews must die," before he opened fire. They, I don't understand. Why do all Jews have to die? I don't get it.
Don't know.
Did y'all see where one of the people who died was a Holocaust survivor?
Yes. Lived through the Holocaust to die in America. It's just
By a
disgusting.
white
Supremacist.
supremacist.
Yeah, D.R. Hughley put that on his page.
Yeah, I
Holocaust
saw that, and
survivor.
it's just disgusting. It's disgusting that you lived through Hitler.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then you got to talk about these next two. Just got to jump on them real quick.
Oh, okay, because another school shooting in North Carolina, the kids show up, and it was a fist fight that happened the day before, and then they get to school the next day, and the other one put out a gun and shot and killed the other student. And it's just that it's disturbing that some of the things that we've talked about disagreements and fights and whatever, why would he think to end this fight with a gun?
Right.
It's like you've already fought, and they said that the kids were picking that I guess this particular student had lost. But he came with a gun and shot him, and then it's like, where did he get the gun? He's a student, and this is It made no sense, and it was just he only came for that one student.
Okay, let's.
And then we got and I guess we can keep going. We had a white man in North Carolina to go in. He first went to a church and tried to open the doors, and at a black church, and the doors were locked. I guess nobody, they didn't have the doors open. So then he decided he wanted to kill black people. He went into Kroger and killed 2 black people whom he did not know. He just wanted to kill black people.
Well, speaking on a high note to black people, Oprah Winfrey is headed to Georgia to campaign for old Stacey Abrams, and you told me that she had an interview with Meghan McCain.
Oh yeah, it was off the chart. So Meghan McCain wanted to ask Stacey about her stance on gun violence, like we just talked about. And Stacey told her she grew up with guns. I'm another person who grew up with guns. I told you we hunted, and she said, I have nothing against the Second Amendment and people having guns, but I do have a problem with people not getting a background check and not being responsible gun owners, and mental illness. And if you've been convicted of domestic violence, there's no reason for you to have a gun. Because domestic violence means that you want to hurt and kill your family. And so Meghan McCain was looking crazy because she thought Stacey was going to say she was against all gun violence. She told no, and she said, and Stacey told her, every year we buy my dad a rifle. He collects them. We got a rifle, gun, and I grew up with a gun case where it was a glass where my granddad had all his rifles in it. And she was like, so I have nothing against guns, but I do have something against the fact that we can't be responsible with it. And our kids should not be the brunt of it, and mass shootings should not be the brunt of it. And she said, if you want an AR-15, join the military. Well. And then, Megan
let's
is a big...
Let's on that. Hashtag.
Megan loves the military. And so, Megan, they put the camera in her face, y'all, and she was like this.
Yeah. Well, all right, so Don Lemon apparently has been getting a little backlash from our president, who, of course, talked about him like a dog before this. Remember, he...
Oh, yeah, always.
And so, apparently, Don Lemon made a statement that white men present the biggest terrorist threat in the country. And it was in reference to the whole caravan thing after criticism that the conservative circles were saying that potential refugees in Central America could cause some more terrorist type of situations for America. And they was like, well, let's just go with the number of shootings that's been happening, mass shootings. You have yet to have anybody other than somebody who is white do it.
And don't forget that Donald Trump told them that Muslims was in that caravan. That was the other thing. But the other thing is what we've all known as black Americans, that white supremacists and racist white people has always been the threat that I've been afraid of. I've never been afraid of ISIS. I wasn't afraid of Saddam Hussein. I wasn't afraid of most of the things that they tell us to be afraid of about Muslims. And so when I'm here in America, I'm afraid of the police. I'm afraid of white men who think that I'm a threat. I'm afraid of white men who think my child is a threat. So my biggest, what Don Lemon was saying was that we're more afraid of the white racist people here than what you perceive to be a threat from people outside of the world, around the world.
Okay. I think, to me, ISIS is a problem. I think that also Saddam Hussein was a problem. I think anything that will go against any kind of freedom, it could be Americans or whoever, but that does not denounce the fact that most of the people who are doing the killings here, and I agree with you too, that if somebody is feeling that I'm a threat and as a result of it they have to automatically feel like they need to protect themselves or retaliate against me or take my life for that reason, it's crazy. And him making this comment and then Trump jumping all on top of it, how about you go out here and do some of this worldly stuff that you need to be getting involved in and stop worrying about what Don Lemon is saying. Like, you talk about the media all the time, and the first thing you always want to say is call them, what does he call? He called them
fake news.
Not just fake news, but he says they do something like basically perpetuate the fears in America. You are the one perpetuating the fear. Just the same way like Keisha was just saying about the people in Pittsburgh. They don't want him to come there if all he's going to do is talk about how these threats, but you won't denounce the people who clearly are the threat. That when somebody calls you on that because you fall in that category of that race he's talking about, now it's a problem. But it was okay for you to talk about Chirac and about all the black folks who are killing each other and doing all this kind of stuff in Chicago, but it's not okay for him to bring attention to the fact that most of the people who are committing these crimes look like you, Donald Trump. Okay. So then we have pop culture. Now, Kanye West's baby girl, Chicago West, she is the youngest of the West siblings, and she was modeling with her mother. She's 9 months old, and her mother has this social media star's new eyeshadow, and they thought that the baby had on makeup. So they were a little put out about that. And if you saw this picture of her with this baby, she is so freaking adorable. And I think she was probably just doing it because her skin was so nice and glowy. And I'm like, come on, y'all. We're going to talk about a 9-month-old. I know her daddy crazy, but leave the babies alone. You know how they be doing
didn't even have a shirt on in this ad.
No.
She was on her bare chest.
Right,
I don't know,
he's 9 months old. Like, why do you want to talk about the 9-month-old baby?
I don't want to talk about none of it. So
I know, but I just feel like that's unfortunate that people. I mean, she was the cutest little thing. Just like I guess they was talking about her sister and the baby in the walker. I'm pretty sure half the women that was talking about it was in walkers when they were little, and they feet all right. All right, so that 50 is at it again. He apparently bought 200 front row seats at an upcoming event with the rapper Ja Rule because he wanted them to be empty. And then he took a picture that was photoshopped with him sitting in the middle of the 200 seats. And I mean, like, what does it end, 50? Like, do you have to beef with everybody? I mean, really? The man is already still going on the whole thing that Fry Festival didn't quite work out for. And his boy went to jail, and he may have just skated by because he was just one of the promoters. But I'm like, dog, man.
50, get your life. What is wrong with you? You too old for this stupid shit. And nobody else tell you. I tell you. Country Keisha say, get your life. Find something else to do. LeBron building schools, dumbass. Do something with that. That was a waste of money, a waste of time. I'm over it. You want to show Ja Rule up. You done showed him up. Move on.
Guess what?
This is LeBron building schools. Go on.
All right, so Tamar is real serious about letting that Vincent Herbert go, baby. She was like, listen, she didn't petition to the judge that he won't respond, so just go ahead and let this divorce go by. But it's a lot of stuff they have to divide up because, you know, he was constantly buying stuff, and she was constantly taking it. They've been together a long time, yeah. And so, as a result, she's going to start in her own reality TV.
I won't be watching.
But you know what? She got a great outpouring from her little, what does she call them? Tamar?
Yeah, whatever.
Tamar said, I got to make some money, y'all, and I ain't making it with my sisters. I'm going to let y'all know I can do this without Vincent or the other Braxton girls.
And I think she's got an ego. So.
But you know what? We never followed up on when Iyanla was working with them. And that was one thing that what's the oldest one? Tony said. And she was like, she always felt like she carried everybody. And that as a result, she feels like she could have gone so much further. But the reason why she wasn't able to do that was because, you know, everybody was riding on. And that's just so sad.
That's how they do.
If it wasn't for the fact you guys were my family, we wouldn't be friends. I was like, oof.
That's true, too.
Pretty rough. All right, so last night on T.I. and Tiny's Friends and Family Hustle, LaToya, she's married to, isn't she playing on Greenleaf? Is that the same chick? Okay. Tamukas, or is that his name? I don't want to say call him Tamukas. Okay.
I don't know these people.
Well, anyway, they have a blended family, and they were kind of airing their baggage, which is kind of what you were saying. Like, some stuff, you know, they felt like she was being too open on the show, and she was saying how she had a miscarriage, and she really wanted her husband to be by her side, but he had left to go see his other daughter, who he hadn't seen in 2 weeks, and he handled it so nice. Like, he was just like, listen, I don't want you to feel like that. He says, I want you to know that I love my daughter. I love you. I love our daughter. And I hate that you felt that way. And he was like, and I'm glad you're being open with me. And I want you to share those things. And he was really being sensitive. I was like, look at this guy.
Well, I'm dating someone, and with
You
kids.
do what?
Yeah, whatever.
You got a boo
And
thing?
we all got kids,
You got a
and
boo thing.
this
What's
is
his
the
name?
thing.
What's his name?
Boo.
Boo.
This
What's
is the
his name,
thing
Keisha?
at being adults.
You not claiming your boo?
At being adults,
You
you
not
got to put on your big
Hey,
girl
you
panties.
not claiming your boo?
And you got to
I
let
didn't
them
know
take
you
care of the
claiming your
baby.
boo.
You not number one. The baby is
You
number
claiming
one.
your boo? Go ahead and claim him.
He already
What's
claimed.
his name?
He know
What
it.
his name? What his
Doja.
name is? You raggedy.
Senior. I ain't gonna mess with
Whatever.
you, DJ.
Whatever.
What if it was DJ?
Girl.
Doja Jr. Now she want to fight.
Because Doja Senior grown and he know better.
Oh.
All right, so Sierra is showing off a stunning Halloween look, and I thought it was so stinking cute. Did you see it? She was dressed up as Nakia from Black Panther. I mean, and she was wearing that because you know that dang on Sierra be doing her thing, baby.
Go see.
All right, we're gonna laugh at Usher.
I'm not gonna laugh.
He get the Big Dummy Award because
He
now
get the jackass of the day award.
he wants to steal the records from Laura Helm, who says that he gave her herpes.
Yeah.
And he says that she willingly had unprotected sex with him, so she agreed to the risk of contracting it, and that he didn't want her to publicly tell everybody that he was dealing with that.
Can I ask y'all?
It was a private issue, like you said. Keep the private private.
Yeah. That's right.
But she said she didn't know, but I think it's unfair that he didn't tell her.
Well, and this my thing, and this what I got to say to Laura, and I got to say to Usher. Why the hell y'all having unprotected sex on the real?
Little bareback, baby, they like bring it. They don't
But
want
y'all ain't in no relationship. This is not monogamy. And I mean, goes back to sexual.
They were together for a long time.
No. This the chick
Was
you
it that chick that he had sex with?
This the
No,
fan.
bitch, I saw-
No, this the fan, boo. This the fan
This
who's
is the
suing
fan.
it. The fan, so it ain't his
She
wife.
probably barebacked him because she
Yeah.
was trying to get pregnant. And
Yeah, and get
get
them
But
checks.
she got something though.
She got herpes. But
What
this,
he can do is give her a lifetime supply of
Yes.
well, and
what?
this, y'all,
Valtrex.
you know you on that mic.
No, I ain't. I took her headphones.
Oh, you did. But this is what I'm saying is that why are you having unprotected
It's
sex?
2018.
Usher. And then to the chick, I know he's a celebrity, but why are you having unprotected sex? I get what Peach is saying, so you could be a baby mama.
Well, but it goes back to what we said earlier. That time when you just like, oh, hot and heavy, and y'all in the studio, you got something. I ain't got nothing. You got something. Now, well, forget it.
And y'all lying. And
Well-
then now she's suing him, and it's like, can you really sue him?
Little Miss Zoe Kravitz says she was a love child of Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet, and she was in Rolling Stone, and she did an iconic picture, butt naked. You hear me?
Was
Bucky
black a lacking?
naked.
Was black a lacking?
Okay,
Go
in
Zoe.
1988, her mom did that same, so she was just recreating what her mom had done. And she says that she literally was raised by a rock star and a mom who was an icon. She's like, 'cause her dad used to pick her up from school in his sports car, and he had on his leather pants and this netted shirt where you could see his nipples. She was little.
I wonder if my dad ever showed up to school like that.
Oh my God. She said that one time her daddy took her out of school for a whole month because he said she looked too pasty and took her to the Bahamas and they chilled.
They needed that. I don't like pasty look.
And
at
she
all.
says that one time her mom caught her smoking and she got upset with her because she says, just don't lie, it's cool, and then gave her a joint. So she's her
She
life was
aight.
pretty interesting. I was
She
like,
right.
oh my
She
God.
grew up
Zoe.
all right. It's not the traditional thing.
Okay, I know I'm gonna jack her name up.
And I never said cancer.
Cuban Zane Wallace, Wallis. She was in Beast of the Southern Wild. She was also Annie with
She
Jamie
was the
Foxx.
black Annie.
Yeah.
Annie, yes.
And now she's gonna get a reoccurring role on Blackish.
Blackish, my show.
Mm-hmm. So one of Dre's younger cousins who come to stay with his family for a while after her mom can't take care of her. And she does little children's books. So we love these entrepreneurs, these girls who are
Yes.
doing their thing. Like, go girl.
To be or not to be. Are y'all ready for some heavy discussion? Peaches. You better have something good to say. Or we're going to take her producer hat.
Some water. Ooh,
Look at her.
You always trying to find peaches. You gotta stop.
She ain't gonna be happy till
I ain't trying to buy Peaches. I'm trying to keep Peaches.
Till I
I'm telling
She said,
Peaches
"On site."
why we keeping Peaches. She gonna have to do it. Bring it, Peaches. So, continuation of Jada and Will. If you saw the first episode, they aired the second part of it, and they're talking about their marriage and living together miserably. How he couldn't understand why she was crying all the time, and she cried all the time, and he just felt like he was doing everything, and she wasn't happy, and then he realized he was doing.
Well, he's saying our characters was the ones having a relationship. The way, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't us. It wasn't who we were.
Well, I think that she felt like he had a view of marriage that I mentioned last week that consisted of this, and this. He had all these checks and he had checked everything and everything should be great, except that he didn't know what Jada's view was. And what we was talking about, Jada never saw herself as married. So she didn't have all these boxes to check off. She just knew that he wasn't listening to her because he had what he wanted.
Well, she was saying he was hiding behind his ego.
Yeah.
And calling it love.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
And she said the one thing she did realize is that if you if you don't need somebody, you have to need somebody to love them, or you have to be needed to be loved. And that was, she's like, that's not it. Like, I should be able to be who I am, like the things I like, and I may not like any of the stuff you like, but that should be okay.
That should be okay.
And I think everybody, I know I struggle with that because it's like when you will marry somebody that's totally opposite to you, and the more that stuff starts to come out, the more you realize, like, what? But they really do need you for what you can expose them to and bring them into fruition with. Because he was like, the pain that was caused by them going through this unhappy period is what he needed to be happy.
Well, and he said that they broke up within their marriage. And I like the fact that he said that. They had a breakup. Not a divorce, but a breakup.
But they had to rebuild
remember we
it.
was talking and Jada said something real stupid that I didn't agree with. I mean, they said divorce is not an option, right? But she was like, I don't care if you on your side of the house with somebody else, and I'm over here. I'm like, well,
nobody agreed with that, even Will and all
that.
That. They've never done that,
Yeah,
but she was just
said,
trying to
we ain't
make a point.
Other.
Yeah.
And I've done that, made a point like that, and had my ass chewed out because I said stuff on here that I'm just saying to be ridiculous. What she was saying is, we ain't getting a divorce. I don't care if you got another one on the side. I'm gonna be with my man on the. I mean, she was being ridiculous.
But at the
top.
end, when he was like, "This is what I've always wanted for you," at the red table, how for her to be free, and I was like,
and it's been freeing.
But knowing
for
that
us.
he can love her without her wanting, he felt like you needed me is how you love me, and he's like, no, like I can have all of this.
And still love you.
Yeah. And I like the fact that he said it took him 2 years to find himself. He decided to cut off everything to find himself. And that's something that we all have to do because it wasn't Jada, just because Jada was crying, he realized that he's doing something wrong.
He's the reason why
he's doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong?
And then the whole time he feels like he's being right. You know what I'm saying? Like he
was like, I got these checks.
But it was really his ego. I
Remember
planned his 40th birthday party for you and did all this
he
stuff.
He planned it for 3 years and she never wanted it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he planned it for 3 years. And all of us sitting here going, oh, that's wonderful. But if you don't want that, and that's what I tell people, it's things that I'm not interested in. And you can give it to me and I'm not.
She had never even heard these tapes from her grandmother, and she had to sit there in front of all these people in here when there was something that was private that she could have done. You know?
Yeah. It was funny because Willow was like, "Oh, Daddy, I'm so sorry." And he was like, "Why? The family that you have in your head is not what we are. This is not what we are." And I was like,
because that's what he did to Willow.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. He was like, no, but Jay-Z wants you to. And she was like, is Jay-Z or me? And he said,
you want me to do that.
You know, she was like, I'm doing what I want to do and I'm done. And she
head.
shaved her head.
And I didn't make that arrangement with Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, you did. And that's everything that he was saying. And all these, and I think that's what happened with a lot of the Hollywood kids. They get tied into these arrangements that the parents are making and not really listening to the kids. It was fun for her for a minute and she was ready to move on.
Well, and I think when you just talk about marriage, like, I'm glad that they were open enough to say, you know what, we've been married over 20 years. And I was feeling her on a lot of that stuff. Like, you don't want to let go of your spouse, but you're ready to kind of like be who you want to be. And you want that trust and that comfort to be like, hey, you know what, maybe we do need this time to kind of like get on each other's nerves and go to your corner and do whatever you're doing because
So you can
it's
come
helping.
back
Yeah,
together.
and be better. Like he says, breaking up to have a better marriage.
Yeah, and the part where she was constantly crying, and that's what got me to say in my head that he wanted to stop her from crying. It was so important for him to figure out what he was doing wrong, because that's what he said. I had to figure out what I'm doing wrong because he was not understanding her. The more that she would tell him what she want, it'll go.
Right, because he was like, now they do this 10th day thing. They won't go on vacation for 10 days and they do everything he want to do. Have these, excursions. He wants to try something new every time. That's me. I'm like, what's new? What can we do? And then he says for Christmas she wants her 10 days. And we do the same thing. She said that's called tradition.
Tradition.
We
Wear
Yeah.
the same sweaters, eat the same
Same
food
thing.
with the same people.
And he finds it so
And he's like, I like
boring.
it because that's what you want. He's like, but just realizing that. So that was kind of cool that they talked about that.
We bring this up before we go to the next topic is working on a marriage. They decided to stick with it and work with it and go through all of that. And then I put in Mary Lou Retton. She's divorcing after 27 years of marriage, and they're divorcing as friends, but she said it's something that had really needed to happen for a long time, which means she stayed there way past,
Maybe they
But she
did
stayed
try to
there
work
and
it
she-
out, and it
but
just
That's what I'm saying.
Let
Maybe
me
she
fin-
stayed and didn't do what
No,
Will and
but-
them did and
to the
tried to work
degree,
it out.
yeah.
No, but
Because of
that's
fear.
But I'm reading her quotes. It's something that had really needed to happen for a long time. She said, "We still love one another, but we weren't great together anymore."
Sometimes
She
you outgrow
said that
people.
she felt alone. So no, and that's the point I'm making.
I
That
think that's an
these two
excuse. I don't
different,
agree with that.
huh?
I think like Will and Jada, they outgrew each other and they decided to
And
rebuild.
Yeah, but I'm
So I
saying
think
that.
when you outgrow each other, you also have to want to get to
And-
know
But
who
sometimes you don't know that. If
I
you
mean,
grew up
yeah,
in a
you-
family
yeah.
with parents that didn't communicate,
yeah.
you don't know how to communicate.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
this
You
is-
have to want your desire to want to get back together. Well, college, you like Will did.
It takes two.
But
You
know what I'm saying, to
cannot
work
get
for that
together with
together.
somebody who's not willing to work with you. And that's one thing. And another thing is for the divorcing after 27 years of marriage, she's not saying that they took it lightly and that they didn't work on it. We can't assume that. She just said they realized that they weren't great together anymore. And if that's the case, cut your losses. And that's what she did. And I think that we need to acknowledge that everybody isn't Will and Jada, and that and I say that because I've had people, and someone just said this to me today about my marriage, that I was a quitter. I said, let them beat your ass and see if you quit. But the thing is that it takes two people. If you're not in it with another person, if one of you is only trying, it's not the same. That's the thing with Will and Jada. They both were trying to stay together. And with this marriage, they're saying that they are realizing that it's not, they don't want to be together. They want to be, they're better off apart. We still love one another, but we weren't great together. And I think some marriages have to realize whether or not they're great together as a couple.
All right. Well, health and wellness. Gabrielle Union turned 46 and she showed off her bikini bod. Ooh. And she
Hot.
gave us a look into her daily workouts is what it says here. So are you working out? What is enough and what is too much? Is it because of body shaming that we feel we need to work out, especially for women over 40, or for health reasons?
I had some women try to body shame me, talk about my fat belly and my skinny child. You know what I want to tell them? I don't care. You ain't finna fat shame me in the work. Keisha, have I worked out since?
I don't think so.
I'm allergic. But I was gonna say, this is the thing. Gab said she was doing this because of her family health issues that we brought up: high blood pressure, diabetes, heart conditions, all the things that we said about being healthy, and some of the things that we're looking into. But being
I don't think any woman ever stops feeling vain about their body.
Yeah, I don't
Whoever
think
you are, you always. I don't care if you saying, "Oh,
Big Mama, you
I
think Big
accept
Mama
my-
was vain with them titties?
Yeah.
Big Mama
Yeah,
said,
I think
"I
every
don't care
woman
about my
has-
body."
yeah, your
Every
body.
woman
No, I
has
think you
something
care
that
about it
you
when it gets
care.
out of control and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Meaning that it would take a lot of work for you to do some of that stuff. you might, come to grips with it. But at the same token, you go someplace and see some women your age, and you can tell where they're keeping themselves healthy and doing some of the stuff that they're doing. You're going to feel some kind of way.
Yeah, I think it's about
that's what you say. I think that we need to stop. I think we need to stop comparing our bodies with other women because you don't know what the other person is going through. And I'm saying that.
Let me finish. I mean, just being a human being, that's what we do. Everybody's competitive.
Let me finish. Because one of the ladies that I met, and I was like, "Why did you do this?" And she was like, "I went through some health issues. I didn't know what her issue was, but just." When you look at a woman, you don't know what her body's been through and what she's going through.
Okay, but your point to all this is what? That
we need to stop comparing ourselves to people.
That's human nature, though.
But right, that is human nature. You do the same thing. You look at women who got fro and talk about their hair and say,
or if I say I want to straighten my hair, wow, you got that beautiful curly hair. You got that white
or just
hair.
like what was that Tasha went and did? I mean, like it's always gonna be something that you're gonna do, but you're not gonna stop.
No, I am because I'm stopped it. I don't compare myself to other women.
Everybody got to
what
get
you talking about?
Just
physical appearance?
It's all of the above.
No, Keisha, you do that all the time. You will say something about you. You just did that to Tasha last week and talking about how you was green with envy. Did something because she went to the New Edition concert and you didn't have tickets to go.
That's
what?
New Edition
okay,
concert.
what is that?
That's not about our body shaming. We're talking about body.
I just asked you. I said, are you just talking about body? You said no, all of it. You didn't say that?
I did say all of it, but I'm gonna tell you what I was talking about: hair, face,
physical.
I wasn't talking about whatever you talking about abstract. Okay. I was talking about the fact that she brought in the hair, and when we was talking, we're talking.
I just think everybody need to get to a point to where they're comfortable with themselves. Like,
and
we all have our own issues, but when you, like he said, though, when you see somebody else, like, ooh,
you don't know what they went through. And you don't know what they've been through.
If
or
you
if
had a
they had
six-pack, I know exactly what you went through. Your ass was in the gym,
pumping
it out.
Or you could have went to a plastic surgeon and had a tummy tuck. You don't
There's
know.
a difference because I have a tummy. You can tell the difference. I'm talking about a naturally cut. But you can tell when somebody's putting in work and eating right and working out.
Clothes on. I mean, you were saying six-pack, not if they got clothes and you want. No, I'm just saying physically, if you're just eyeballing people, you don't know what they've been through. In Alpharetta, Georgia, Middle School Chronicles book series author, 16-year-old Essence Moore is the first teen to have her books in school as a mandatory reading and a part of some schools' curriculum all around the world. She was so excited about it. A teacher, Laura Tomlinson, an 8th grade reading teacher from South Middle School in Pennsylvania, called on the phone and did I say Pennsylvania? Okay, Pennsylvania, and called on the phone line with her class, hoping that they would have a chance to speak directly with Essence. Essence is an author and she's 16 years old, and this teacher decided to make sure they bought her books and made a part of her curriculum.
I love it.
Love it. Hey, black child. Black children are doing stuff at 16 years old. LeBron building schools, Essence writing books. Let's do it. I think
that most of them need to realize that, I know a lot of the kids that I teach don't even realize their potential, let alone anything else. And it's sad that they don't think that they can do these things. And then they come up against some adversities and they just let it continue to like rule their life. Like it totally takes over to where they get so defeated that they can't even have a conversation about having a future with anything.
Finances, y'all. Whew. Thank you, Jesus. Did we get through Hey Black Child? I'm ready. Finances. We've got, I want to talk about financial abuse. Is it a real thing? Have y'all ever heard of financial abuse? I don't know. Y'all ain't talking. So many of us do this without thinking.
Rhetorical. You're not. Go ahead. I thought it was rhetorical. I thought you was like doing your little lead-in thing with it.
So many of us do this without thinking how harmful we are to our finances. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people spend money in ways that scare me, and I know I am one of those that's frugal, so a lot scare me. But finding ways when you spend money on things and then you don't have your basic needs, mm-hmm. like you buy these big things and then you go home and you barely got lights and water. Like you go on this vacation and you come back and your lights cut off and your water. It's like you really couldn't afford that vacation, huh? But it's a new thing that's out called the purplepurse.com. I want everybody to go out there and look. And it's a movement that was created to help domestic violence abusers to be financially sound. I came through a marriage that this happened to me, domestic violence happened, but I was financially sound. So I wasn't financially abused, and he tried to. So one of the things that a lot of domestic violence victims go through is they can't leave because they have no money. The abuser has control of every dime, and they don't have access to it, and that's one reason why they don't want to leave with their kids, because they have nothing. And most people that show up at a domestic violence house come with nothing, literally. And we worked at Opportunity House here, and you realize they don't even have underwear and change of clothes or anything. They just fleeing for their life. So some of the things that financial abusers do is one is to get you to quit your job so you don't make money, and they make you stay home. And then they start doing the stuff that we talked about a few months ago with the phone, where they could cut off turn the air up. Remember I said it's abuse. Turn the AC up and turn it down, or change the channel, lock the doors. And it's the same thing with finances. So I went through a situation where I was able to work and had my own account. But when I was a stay-at-home mom, my ex-husband, I had no access to money. He gave me money just for food. And because I'm frugal like I am, I used to stick money back and hide it. But and nobody knew that, but until he caught on to it. When he caught on, boy, he found a way to spend that too. But I used to stick back like $50 or $60 because I knew that he would be at work and he had to own the car, and I'm at home with babies. So anything happened, I would have money. He didn't even think to make sure I had access to money. I didn't have access to his money. So when I started working, I didn't give him access to my money, and that became a problem. And he had to deposit money in my bank one day, and at my bank, and he went up to the teller, and I know this lady. She's the only black at there, and she said he went in and said, I need to get her balance after he deposited. And she said, I can't do that unless she give me the okay. And so she sees me and she says, was that your husband? And I said, yeah, that was my husband. And she said, well, he asked for your balance. If you give me the okay, I can tell him. And I said, no, I know my balance. If he want to know my balance, he can ask me for my balance. And it's one of those things that, I was in an abusive relationship that if I didn't have the control that I did over my finances, I would have lost the house, the car, the kids, everything, because I know people think just because you're the woman that you automatically get it in divorce court. That was not the case. When I went to divorce court, they want to know how much I was making and could I pay the bills with him out of the house. And I had to show them everything I had that I could pay the bills. And that's why I was allowed to. And he couldn't pay the bills. I made more money than he did. So if he made more money and he could prove he could pay them, he could have walked away with everything. And I could have been visiting my kids. So I want people to understand that financial abuse is a real thing. And for women who are in there and don't see a way out, some ways your life is more important than trying to get money to leave, because that's what they try to do. They try to hide money so they can leave. But anybody want to talk about that next week? If anybody got a story, tell me about it, and we'll touch back on it again. And I don't know if you've all ever heard of the term, but it was a new one for me.
All right. Well, education, one size doesn't fit all. And I believe that every child, sometimes you trust the teachers too much or the financial institution too much. And you have to be an advocate for your child. So if you're noticing that their grades are dropping, or you're noticing that in a particular subject that they're not doing well, you have to ask the right questions. Even if they're saying that the kid is not finishing the homework, or the kid is being a behavior problem in class. Sometimes that behavior problem could be they can't see the board, so they may need glasses, or that they really are struggling and have a disability, but they are too afraid or too embarrassed to even say anything about it. So it is nothing for your kid to get tested. If you, push it and talk to the person in guidance, they will have them tested to see if they are able to function at a certain level, or if they need assistance, or if they have a disability. It is nothing wrong with children having disabilities, because if they really need the help, and that's what's going to allow them to be successful, Don't not get them to help because of the taboo word of having a disability. And I know a lot, especially with African Americans, we tend to not want that label on our kids. But the bottom line is you want them to barely struggle through high school and not be able to set themselves up for a better career, or are you really trying to help them? So sometimes you need to make sure you're doing the best for your kids, because sometimes it could just mean where they get extended time on a test, or that they are able to leave a room where it's more quiet. I mean, there's so many things and so many ways to help promote children and their growth and development with education. So please make sure you're paying attention to those things, and don't always just take everything for word because the teacher says it or a principal said. Like, inquire about, well, why is it constantly that we're having these problems in your class? And it may be a behavior problem, but it may not be. And if it's not, or he's doing it, or he might be, have that relationship with your kid where they can tell you, Mom, I really don't understand it, and it really, or they can have ADHD, or they can have dyslexia. It's so many things that go undiagnosed because you have parents that just allow a teacher to tell them something and they're not being an advocate for their kids. So you have to be advocates for your children. And know that the curriculum, their teaching methods, how they're doing stuff, as teachers we are trained to present information in different ways so that kids, because everybody don't learn the same. So are they just presented the same way where it's just a bunch of lectures and you have this homework? Are they doing small group? Are they providing one-on-one time? So you have to be the person who will say, hey, my kid need at least once or twice a week for you to spend more one-on-one time with them. And a teacher should be able to do that. So advocate for your kid, especially in subjects where they struggle. Especially kids who are African American and may experience that type of they don't know. They just don't know. And you don't know. But you have to be able to speak up for them. Okay? All right. So, and that's hot and that's not. That first one, long hair, if it's dreads or perms or cornrows or afro. I don't know if I can group them all together.
No, not all together. But I'm just saying it's long hair. It's not a low cut.
You know what really gets me is them guys who be straight, no hair right here, and they got
start
that
with that cornrow right
no,
here.
not that cornrow. They had that
that part in the back.
That's what you call
Part
it.
in the back.
Part in the back. And they have a rubber band.
Oh my God, we had a name for that.
Wait,
no, that's a tail. That's
Wait,
a tail.
did y'all ever watch
a rat tail?
What's the one in Mississippi with the dance team with D?
DD4L.
DD4L and the twins' daddy. Oh my God, he put beads on his and do all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder got them. He missing
This
all of
yes,
this, and then
he's
he
still
got
with the beads.
And then he got them struggling hairs. I'm like, Stevie, them hairs look like they struggling.
I wonder who braids that up for him.
I don't know, but they need their ass handed to them. But I like.
Can't see it right, but he can feel it. He know ain't no hair
But what
there.
about a perm?
Hot.
You gonna shut up with a hot perm?
Wasn't that ash out the ash
Wait,
out
see
the
waves.
Never.
A perm
never,
wave?
never. Cornrows. I think you too grown. You too grown for cornrows. If you our age, no.
Men or women?
Men. We're talking about men. That's hot or not?
I like the afro idea though.
I like it,
then
bro.
there ain't no perm.
Especially if it's like
dude.
sheeny and got all the glossy
healthy
stuff and
looking.
that you got that
That fresh
perfect
line.
edge, baby. Okay.
Remember Black Klansman? That fro was
It was tight.
That fro was tight.
Okay, don't even say the second one because that's ridiculous.
No, I'm gonna say it because I
No.
seen this
That's
dude.
country.
No.
Oh my God!
No.
Multiple rings on your fingers, guys. That's not hot. If it ain't the Super Bowl ring
Now, let me
with
tell
your
you
wedding
something. Some women
band.
like that now.
Oh my God! I went. This girl was on a date with this dude, and she wanted me to come by. I looked down. He had on these rings. I was like,
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Some women like that.
Oh!
Oh, he got money.
and, excuse me, the ring to turn green.
Oh, Lord,
it ain't even real.
All right, suits and ties definitely hot. And okay, but I will tell you this: I don't like when the suit is too big.
I was gonna say it's got to be well fitted. I can't stand no too little suit or no too big suit, Steve Harvey.
And your shoes running over. Don't do that. But I love it when it's just right for him. And ooh, baby, and smelling good with a little smell good on. And he got that suit and he ain't got to have a tie on, but just that whole, woo.
But I'm gonna say suits and ties are hot if it's for an occasion. But what about the guys who never wear nothing but suits and ties? You never seen them in jeans. I don't like that.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I do. I don't like that. And then jeans and sneakers and jerseys is my other ones, which includes jeans. Who never wear a suit and tie. They always got on jeans and a dress.
So
I'm like,
going from one extreme to the other. I mean, I thought you were talking about.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what I'm saying between the contrast.
No, I get it. I was like, the extreme. I ain't like any. I mean, you should be able to put on some nice jeans with a white tee and some loafers on. And smelling good, a nice little brown belt.
They always wear sneakers and they want to wear them to the dress up balls. They never want to wear dress shoes.
Looking all nice and faded up, and you like, ow,
that's my boo.
Ow. Okay. All right, a man who wants you to be friends with their baby mamas.
I think that's a healthy relationship.
Hot or not?
Hot. That means everybody's on the same page. They ain't trying to go back after each other. The ones who don't want you to be friends mean that they still sliding up in there every other night. They keeping y'all far apart. Don't want y'all to communicate on nothing. But the ones who want you to be friends is out there.
Since you were talking about extremes, let's talk about the extreme of that. The baby mama's stupid crazy, and he still wants you to be friends with her. Mm-mm. I'm stupid crazy. Now don't go there.
I don't know.
Stupid crazy.
I mean,
I'm talking about ignorant. Stupid ignorant crazy.
If you gonna be with him, you got to take
you
the
can
baby
be
mama.
but you ain't got to be BFFs with nobody.
No, we didn't say BFFs. I guess when she say friends, it's cordial.
I said friends. I'm just saying.
Not BFFs.
We go vacation together.
I don't know.
No, it ain't no
Cause she got the kids. The kids are coming. She said.
Well, let me. And I'm gonna add this to this peaches. Is if he with me, you vacation if you want to. Come on, I'm crazy too. Yeah, y'all scared. I ain't scared. Okay. Come on, baby mama. Get these children together. We gonna go on vacation, boo.
Yeah.
Well, that's like you said. He's sliding up in there.
Well, those are the ones who don't want you to be friends.
Maybe he's still sliding in and trying to fake the funk and make it be like y'all gonna be one big old copacetic blended family. And he done threw you off.
Wait.
He done threw you off.
If I like it,
look, y'all trying to be Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys, and Mashonda, and you thinking y'all just one big happy blended family for the kids, and he banging her down still.
Well, and that's the thing.
Is that for real? You mean for?
No,
okay,
she was saying.
I thought he would. I would.
No, she's talking about being a good family.
No, I'm talking about that's what he in your mind. He's trying to have y'all be, but in reality, he just got your enemy right there in your face.
Well, I think the secrets is where the intercourse and all that other stuff happen. But
what you mean?
Keeping you apart and not being friends. Where you're not talking and having an open dialogue with the baby mama.
But what if he knows she's stupid crazy and he just wants to keep y'all stuff healthy?
Well, and I mean that's...
You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, he's like, if I introduce her here, she gonna be planting stuff in your head that's foolish, that's not the for real deal.
Well, and that means you got to be secure in your relationship.
If you can avoid the foolishness, let's just flip it to the other side. Mm-hmm. You got a stupid crazy ex-husband. I'm talking about stupid crazy baby daddy. And you got this new boo, and you like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna invite him over, and y'all gonna do this, and you know he the type of person to be lying.
For nothing, so that ain't even an issue for me. No, I'm just saying.
He's talking about them being friends, and I was just saying that just seemed to me like, when you know who you dealing with though.
Yeah, but there wasn't none of that in there. But go ahead.
I did say the extreme.
Yeah.
All right, so ain't nobody got time for that. A father in Kentucky
has apologized for wearing a Nazi uniform and dressing his 5-year-old as Hitler. Really, he apologized? So he said he didn't see nothing wrong with it. He wasn't being political. You just being racist. We get
Ain't nobody got time for that. Go to the next one, because he's stupid.
So a dude shows up in Picayune, Mississippi.
Picayune.
Oh, we got a native. Oh, that's all right. We got a native to set us straight. Picayune, Mississippi. He showed up in the bar in full KKK hooded garb. Where he get it from, y'all? But anyway,
what you mean where he got it from?
Girl, the bar owner put him out and
what did you just ask where he got it from?
Where he get it from,
out
y'all?
His closet. Out his daddy closet. Okay.
And told him remove that hood and get on out of here and get out of his place of business, and he's barred to come back.
Ain't nobody got
time for that.
So then this is 20-year-old who choked to death during a pancake eating contest at the University of Connecticut. or Connecticut University, I'm sorry. And her parents filed a lawsuit to raise awareness to preventable dangers associated with amateur eating contests.
Her parents need to sit down somewhere.
Well, hold on. If this was sponsored by the university, they should be held liable.
I say no, because she knew she was in a damn pancake eating contest.
What? I don't get it.
Is it something she did that she didn't know she was doing?
What? I'm saying that the bottom line is, if you thinking I'm going to go eat some pancakes, if they didn't put a disclaimer or say some of the things that could happen, they are liable.
Well,
Just
no,
like
it's
sign waivers for something.
For eating
You
pancakes?
should, yeah.
I think this goes back to the hot coffee. I didn't know it was hot. You eat pancakes?
No, I mean, but the like the woman who did do that, like McDonald's was making their coffee way too hot.
But I'm just saying,
like
but everybody tried to jump on that, and it was like everybody's coffee wasn't as hot as hers. But no, what I'm saying is about the pancake eating contest. She signed up to it. She was 20 years old, and I get her parents are upset, but she was 20 years old that wanted to eat pancakes.
Okay, and I feel like if it's a contest, but the problem is, just like anything else, if you're going to offer anything, you got to be held liable for it. Any bar you go to, any school you go to, anything that you do, those people say, hey, you're going to enter it. Just like if we go right now and go to Zumba. They make you sign, every time we go to yoga, you sign a waiver saying that we're not responsible if you get up in here and pass out and hurt yourself. Was a waiver being signed? And if it wasn't, her parents got a lawsuit.
Anybody can sue for anything, and I think her parents just lost their child and they just want to sue because this. I'm saying my opinion. I get what you're saying about the waiver. I'm just saying if you're going to eat a pancake contest, there's a risk you might get choked if you stuffing a damn bunch of pancakes down your throat.
Well, a guy in Thailand was stuffing other things down people's throats, and he got into a confrontation with a person who was a regular at his place, end up killing him, and got, basically decided he was going to get rid of the body piece by piece by putting it in people's vegetarian dinners and passing it off, I guess, as tofu. So somebody found a chunk of the meat and was like, this isn't right. So they had it tested by the local authorities and found out that it belonged to an individual that had been missing. And they went and they looked in the restaurant, and he was in the septic tank decomposing. And the guy had decided he was going to take piece by piece and get rid of them.
Don't they make you want to eat at home?
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that. And the last thing, this fool was in Kansas City, went to work drunk, got into the cargo hold of the airplane, and took a flight to Chicago.
He worked at American Airlines, right? He was on flight 363.
Oh my God. They said all they did was he was intoxicated, had fallen asleep, and he stayed the whole time. So no charges was filed, and they sent his butt right on back to Kansas. What I told you about alcoholics. You got to stop trying to live. You drink on your day off, man.
What I told you about alcoholics. You can't kill them. You can't hurt them.
Oh my God! So,
and this man survived.
We thank you for joining us once again for another episode of City Keisha and Country Keisha.
Vote for Andrew Gillum if you haven't voted already. Let's do it. Let's turn the Panhandle blue if you're in the Florida Panhandle.
I was gonna do early voting, but I was out of town, so
you still can. You got to November 3rd.
Oh, okay.
You can go to
Monday. I know where Shalimar is.
Yeah, Saturday. You got to Saturday.
All right, so if you want to go, meet me at the polls on Saturday. Let's vote.
Vote.
Because I always do. And I'm going to tell you about the 18-year-olds that I teach who think they don't need to be voting.
We had about 8 kids yesterday at the rally for Andrew Gillum from Fort Walton Beach High School. I said, where the Choctaw High School is? Girl. And why did he only represent one school? Wow. What the hell is wrong with us?
They wouldn't let him out early.
Well, yeah, but it was good.
But get out and vote. We know that voting is going to make a difference, okay?
And if you listening in Georgia, go vote for Stacey Abrams and I say go down Democrat, but hey.
If you living in Georgia, vote. Let's just try that. From the outhouse
to the penthouse,
we
out.
Two different point of views with the same name.
Stop. What their name is?
Keisha and Keisha. Keisha and Keisha. Oh, Keisha and Keisha.